Effective writers think of their documents as visual structures to which they can apply basic principles of design. Even the most basic essay, all text on paper, has a visual structure with a left-aligned header, double spacing, a centered title, paragraphs indented on the first line, and so on. However visually rich the document, the writer's goals are to make each page look inviting and to lead readers smoothly from one part of the text to the next. Most design experts begin with several very simple principles that guide the design of documents. The first one we will review is contrast. Contrast attracts your eye to elements on a page and guides you around it, helping you follow an argument or find information. You may achieve contrast through the use of color, icons, boldface, or large type size, heading, and so on. Begin with a focus point, the dominant point, image, or words on the page where you want your reader's eye to go first, and structure the flow of your visual information from this point. Parts of the page that are closely related should appear together, proximate to one another. Your goal is to position related points, text, and visuals near one another, and to use clear headings to identify these clusters. In the case of the word proximity and its definition on this slide, they are not proximate to one another. Readers are guided by the repetition of key words or elements. You can take advantage of this design principle by using a consistent design throughout your document for such elements as color, typeface, and images. Alignment refers to how images and text on a page are lined up, both horizontally and vertically. The overall guideline is not to mix alignments arbitrarily. That is, if you begin with a left alignment, stick with it for major parts of your page. The result will be a cleaner and more organized look. This slide is from my other presentation, Organizing Information for Presentations. The red brackets indicate the distribution and alignment, two functions of Google Slides to correctly align text boxes and images of these images. I used the distribution and alignment features to ensure precise spacing amongst these images so that the slide felt balanced and not overcrowded. The alignment function allows you to align text boxes and images horizontally and vertically. Use horizontal alignment to align media left, right, and center. Use the vertical alignment to align media top, bottom, and middle. You can distribute the media either vertically or horizontally. Whichever option you choose, the selected images and/or text will be equally spaced on your slide. Decisions about color depend to a large extent not only on the kind of equipment you are using, but also on the purpose of your document and its intended audience. As you design your document, keep in mind that some colors can evoke powerful responses, so take care that the colors you use match the message you are sending. Here are some other tips about the effective use of color. Use color to draw attention to elements you want to emphasize, headings, bullets, text boxes, or parts of charts or graphs. Be consistent in your use of color. Use the same color for all subheads, for example. For most documents, keep the number of colors fairly small. Too many colors can create a jumble or confused look. Avoid colors that clash or that are hard on the eyes. Make sure all color visuals and text are legible. If I were giving a presentation on the founding of the United States of America, writing out the first paragraphs of the Declaration of Independence would be an ineffective use of a slide. And while most slides contain some kind of text, whatever kind of text you include, it should be brief. One of the biggest mistakes people make when using PowerPoint or Google Slides is putting too much text on a single slide. A general rule for slides that contain only text is to include no more than half dozen lines of type. If you are combining text with images, you may need to limit yourself to fewer lines to keep the text from getting too small. If you have a number of important points to cover, spread them out over multiple slides. Although unusual fonts might seem attractive at first glance, readers may find such styles distracting and hard to read over long stretches of material. Remember that typefaces help you create the tone of a document, so consider your audience and purpose when selecting type. Most importantly, be consistent in the size and style of typeface you use, especially for the main part of your text. Unless you are striving for some special effect, shifting sizes and fonts within a document can give an appearance of disorderliness. When choosing fonts, keep the following guidelines in mind. Choose fonts that are easy to read. Use caps sparingly. They can be difficult to read. Don't use more than 2 fonts on a single slide, one for the title or major heading, and another for subtitles or other text. Be consistent with your font types throughout your presentation. Put titles and major headings in 44 to 36 point type. Make subheads and other text 32 to 24 points. Some ineffective font types in Google Slides to be aware of are Pinion Script, Ultra, Permanent Marker, and Pacifico. Effective font types in Google Slides to add to your repertoire include EB Gramond, Courier New, Merriweather, Playfair Display, and Times New Roman. One of the benefits of PowerPoint is the ease with which it allows you to include photographs, charts, graphs, and other images, including video. Unfortunately, some speakers are prone to adding images simply because it is easy, rather than because it is essential for communicating their message. You should never add images of any sort to a PowerPoint slide unless they are truly needed. There is a great deal of research showing that extraneous images distract listeners and reduce comprehension of the speaker's point. In addition to keeping your slides free of extraneous images, keep these guidelines in mind. Make sure images are large enough to be seen clearly. Choose high-resolution images that will project without blurring. Keep graphs and charts clear and simple. In most cases, include a title above charts and graphs so the audience knows what they are viewing. Edit video so it is integrated seamlessly into your slides. Include copyright information when applicable. In PowerPoint and Google Slides, animation refers to the way objects enter or exit a slide. Without animation, all the items on a slide appear at the same time when the slide is displayed. With animation, you can control when words, pictures, even parts of graphs show up on screen. When used properly, it's a terrific way to spruce up your slides. When working on your presentation, think about ways you can use animation to help communicate your message. Be wary, however, of animation effects that might distract the attention of listeners. Stick with a limited number of animation effects and use them consistently from slide to slide. Use the included checklist to review your information after creating your outline. Ask yourself the following questions to assess what areas you need to focus on as you prepare your presentation. Have I prepared my visual aids well in advance? Are my visual aids clear and easy to comprehend? Does each visual aid contain only the information needed to make my point? Are my visual aids large enough to be seen clearly by the entire audience? Do the colors on my visual aids work well together? Is there a clear contrast between the lettering and background on my charts, graphs, and drawings? Do I use line graphs, pie graphs, and bar graphs correctly to show statistical trends and patterns? Do I limit charts to no more than 8 items? Do I use fonts that are easy to read? Do I use a limited number of fonts? Hopefully this was helpful and informative. If you have any questions or suggestions, please share them in the comments section below. And for information about how to deliver a presentation effectively, check out my video on delivering presentations. Thank you, and happy writing.